Thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to show you what I eat in a day to have lost 64 pounds on Trim Healthy Mama. And this is my breakfast this morning. I'm going to start off with an iced coffee. I just put monk fruit in my iced coffee along with some half and half. I've got a 0-carb tortilla and I've got 2 eggs with some salsa on it and about a tablespoon of sharp cheddar and about a tablespoon of onions. And I just cooked those over the stove and I'm going to be having those for my breakfast today. It's about 1 o'clock and I'm having an Oikos 000 yogurt. And this is the vanilla flavored, 15 grams of protein, 0 sugar, artificial sweeteners, and fat. The next thing I'd like to do is show you how I prepare my supper on a super busy day. And today I have literally every minute planned up. I've been up so early getting ready for my day, and so I figured, you know what? I'm going to be using my crock pot. Now, not everybody's a crock pot fan. I understand that, but I love my crock pot, especially for soups and roasts and things like that. So I'm going to show you how I prepare my roast. Now, I found this chuck roast on sale. I mean, it's scary when a chuck roast is on sale for $5.99 a pound. But I found one, and so we are going to cut this up, and this is what I do. This is also kind of a saving money video. I spent $16.27 on this large chuck roast. I'm not going to eat all this tonight, but I am going to eat it over the next month or two. And so I'm going to show you how I put some of it away for other meals, and I'm going to show you how I prepare it for the crock pot today. So I'm going to start off by heating up my cast iron skillet, and we are just going to brown our roast in this skillet. I just washed it, so I want to just get some of this water off since I'm going to be adding a little bit of oil to the bottom. You can spray it if you like. I'm going to add a little oil, about a tablespoon. Now, you don't need a whole lot, but you do need a little bit. All right, so in the meantime, while my cast iron skillet's heating up, I've already washed my sweet potatoes, and all I'm gonna do is just take out some of these little eyes. I don't want those. Now, if you wanna peel your sweet potato, you can. These are actually really in good shape. So tonight, I'm actually going to be putting these on a, yeah, it's funny, I cleaned these really good. I actually used a brush, but there's still a little bit of dirt on them. So I'm gonna clean them again after I'm done. I've got some fat right there I'm gonna take off just because it's really a kind of a tough fat. Some of this I'm gonna leave on. It's gonna cook up really good. You won't even know it's there, honestly. Now, I'm not going to season it before I put it in the pan here. I just want to get a sear, and then I'm going to season it before I put it in the crock pot. Clean hands again. I'm just going to finish cutting off these little rough spots. So I took my cast iron skillet, I put it on my actual stove top. I added about a quart of water to the hot pan that had the meat searing in it. And I'm gonna add about 2 teaspoons of this Better Than bouillon to that. And I'm gonna let it cook up while I season my meat. And you'll see this is gonna be really delicious. And later we're gonna have the makings of a wonderful gravy. So let me show you my secret ingredient for the best roast you'll ever have. And that is Aldi's Chef's Cupboard Onion Soup Mix. This stuff is so good, and I found it does not have any MSG in it like some of the other onion soups. So I actually use this whenever I make a dip when people come over, and I use it when I make different kinds of roast beef seasonings just because it's really, really good. So I'm gonna add about half of my packet. I'm not gonna put the whole thing in. I'm gonna save half of it for another day. And the reason I do that is because it's just really a strong mix. So I'm gonna put a couple of tablespoons of this in here. So my broth is fully cooked, and that did two things with my cast iron skillet. First, it made an amazing broth, but the second thing it did was it took everything off the bottom of my skillet. So this is my broth. Isn't that amazing? Just from cooking up my roast with a little bit of the bouillon mix. So I'm gonna take these seasonings and just kind of move them around. I want them to really soak into this meat. So I've cut up about a half of an onion, and I just cut it into cubes. I'm just gonna add this to my roast mix. And now all I'm gonna do is put my potatoes right on the top of my roast. And this will cook these potatoes all day long. I'm gonna put it on high for a little while, maybe an hour or two. Then I'm gonna turn it down to low and just let it cook the rest of the day. So the next thing I wanna do is I wanna take my other half of my roast, and I'm gonna go ahead and preserve that for another project, which I'm gonna share with you next week. So to keep this nice and fresh, I'm gonna just seal it up here with a little bit of plastic just to get the air out. And because I'm out of the bags for my food saver, I'm gonna use a little bit of freezer paper. I don't usually use this too often, but like I said, I'm out of the others, so this will do today. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the freezer paper, and all I do is just close it up like this. You just roll it kind of like they do at the butcher. Just like that. So I've taped it up, I've labeled it, and I'm gonna go throw this in the freezer for another day. I also decided while I was out in the freezer, I grabbed some of my tomatoes that I had from my garden this year, and I'm gonna throw a couple of those in the crock pot. Okay, my crock pot roast and potatoes are done. I am just gonna take these potato container things out of here. And then I'm also gonna take this delicious roast out. So all I'm going to do with these potatoes is just take this foil off. Boy, those smell good too. Now if you wanted to serve this with sweet potato fries instead of a baked sweet potato, you could do that. This is just what I chose to do tonight. Now these potatoes are hot, so be careful. You do not want to burn yourself. And we're just gonna cut our roast beef, and you wanna try to cut it against the grain. You'll get a better product when you do that. So that one little piece of roast beef made all of this delicious beef. Now I've decided I'm not gonna make a gravy. I'm just gonna pour a little bit of the juice over the top of this. I'm gonna be serving this tonight with some sugar-free lemonade, and that's it. I don't plan on having any snacks tonight, so this is gonna wrap it up for what I ate in a day. Hope it was helpful to you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel. Give me a like, a thumbs up, or ring that bell for future notifications, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.